Am I the a-hole for recording my friend's fiance at her bachelorette party and playing the recording for him? What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel for those of you who are new. My name is Dipped in Black, also known as Kettle. Let's get into it. I was invited to the bachelorette party for my friend's fiance. It was over the long weekend at a vacation rental on the beach. There was booze, a hot tub, great food. Nice. It was definitely a hit. Okay. At one point, I was on the deck looking at the ocean, and the bride was drunk in the hot tub with her two friends. She said she felt more relaxed than she had in a while. I assumed she was referring to wedding planning. One of her friends asked if she was having trouble with the little monster. She said no. Let me read that again. One of her friends asked if she was having trouble with the little monster. Monster, okay. She said no, that he was manageable for now. At that point, I realized they were talking about my friend's son. Oh, okay. I took out my phone and started recording them. The bride's friend said horrible stuff about my friend's son, and the bride responded positively to everything, laughing and agreeing. Then she said that it was too bad he wasn't old enough to send to military school. Yikes. Ooh. I stopped recording when their topic changed. I don't think they ever realized I was close enough to hear them. When we got back, I asked to meet with my friend, and I played him the recording. He was quiet while he listened. After the recording was finished, he asked me to send it to him, which I did. Then he asked me to delete it, which I said I would do, but haven't yet. Okay. I feel like an asshole for interfering, I really do. However, I'm worried about my friend's son. Depending on what my friend does, I might need to send this recording to the poor boy's family. I feel like I've overstepped, but what else can I do? Was I being an asshole? Ooh. Okay, let's break this down. Let's rewind it. Let's break it down. Okay, so you're saying your friend's fiance's friend was talking crap about your friend's son. So I kind of noticed how you didn't say that the bride was your friend. You said it was your friend's bride. Okay, so we can clearly see the relationship that is here. And why you have the concern. Two, I'm very happy that you were here in this situation to even listen to the conversation that they were having, because that kind of sucks when you have a friend who's basically marrying someone who doesn't have kids, and the person coming into the family is becoming a step parent. And trust me, not everyone is going to be acceptable of everyone's kids, you know? So I think that was a great idea for you as a friend to do that. And like you heard something, you didn't mean to eavesdrop, but you ended up hearing it. They were drunk, that's their fault. You ended up hearing it. You decided to record it because it's important. It's your friend's child, you know? We don't know if she's talking like this behind his back. They're getting married. What is she gonna be saying? Like, now that they're married and y'all live together, what's gonna be going on behind the scenes when she's gonna be interacting with his son? You know, like, that's your stepmom now. So, you know, like, you're already he's not old enough to send off to military school. Really? You're already trying to get rid of him? Like, y'all just got married. Like, and then you're over here calling him a whole little monster. Like, how old is he? Like, how old is the child? Because, like, he's a child. Like, I know there's some bad kids out there. Definitely, don't get me wrong, but like, if that's the case, that's crazy. Like, I'm gonna leave it here because I'm on your side. I honestly believe that you're not an asshole for this, because I would have done the same thing. Like, if that's my friend and I'm sitting here, you just got married and you sitting here talking smack about your stepchild. Yeah, you're not the asshole. I would have recorded too. Silent Handle 6041. You weren't being an asshole. You were being a concerned friend. If someone is about to marry a person who openly disrespected their child, they deserve to know. Exactly. First comment, beautiful. It's better he finds out now than after they're married. Elvis T says, more than one feeling can exist at the same time. One, you can feel bad about recording someone saying damaging things and feel bad about it because you know it will damage or ruin things. Or two, you can feel good that you are looking out for your friend and for a child that needs responsible adults to look out for that child. Right. And I agree with that as well. Like, ooh, that is a hard situation, because I understand why you asked us for help on this. Both of those feelings can exist at the same time. You don't need to pretend like one feeling doesn't exist if you're experiencing multiple other feelings at the same time. You are aware that you have both of these feelings, and it sounds like you're trying to figure out which feeling should be more important than one. Another thing to consider is that maybe the child is acting like that towards the fiance because she is treating the child a certain way. Exactly. That could also be a different factor, because why is he considered as a monster to you? What is he doing? Why? Him and the other friend, whoever the fiance was talking to her friend, and the friend asked her how is she doing with the little monster. So she's already spoke bad about this child to her friend. So it's just like they already, what's going on in the household? She might not ever say anything bad or wrong, but the child can definitely feel unloved. The result is that the fiance is describing the behavior of a child that she has treated poorly, but there is no hard evidence of mistreatment. Exactly. A child knows when they are loved and when they're not. You don't have to use words to let them know you do or don't love them. I would feel guilty about doing what you did. I would feel guilty about recording her. I would feel guilty about showing it to the father. I would feel anxious that maybe the father knew already, and it might just cause distrust between you and the fiance. I would feel guilty that the result of this recording would cause the marriage to not happen. Exactly. Like, I understand everything that you're saying right now, Elvis T, is facts, straight facts. Because like, I would feel guilty about these things, but I wouldn't feel guilty about sharing the recording. You know, I would feel like option one. I would feel like I'm doing a service for my friend and letting them know that, hey, your homegirl, your fiance was literally talking smack about your kid. That ain't her kid, that's your kid. I'm gonna need you to talk to her about this, or I'm not gonna let you guys get married. Like, come on, me and my homies, we don't do that. I would feel good about knowing that I tried to do what I could to look out for the best interest of that child, even if that means that you shoulder the burden, some guilt. Exactly. That's part of being a responsible adult. There are hard decisions to make, and you made one of them. You didn't just sit by and let things happen. Sure, it's not the same bravery you see on a battlefield, but it was a brave thing to do. You can sit in confidence that you tried to do the morally right thing. Even though you knew that you didn't know what the outcome would be. That's a type of bravery. That's a type of bravery that we can all admire. That was what you tried to do. Whether or not we all would have made the same decision with different variable doesn't matter. What you did was right. And the sassy, same thing can be said about the fiance. She may have agreed to those ugly things her friends were saying, yet also feel like she can make it work. This is all one-sided. Yeah, and then I was also thinking about that too. She's probably also putting on a facade as well for her friends, and just, going with the flow of things, because it's sad to say this, but a lot of people like to do that and don't realize that they're even doing it sometimes, and they kind of just laugh it off as if it wasn't like something serious that they said. And yeah, we don't really know how she honestly truly feels, because she could be lying to her friends about how she feels about the child. Because one, like we said, she's drunk, so she probably just talking shit just to talk shit. And with that, my friend, you are not the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife's friend I don't have to see her in the classroom to know she is a horrible teacher? My wife's friend was supposed to come watch fireworks with us tonight, but she just texted my wife that she isn't coming because I was a nasty person who encourages my child to be rude and disrespectful. Okay. My wife and I just had a small argument about the situation that ended with her pulling a big Lebowski on me. Lebowski? Look, I need to look that up. Lebowski. What are these words? Someone says Pulling a big Lebowski. What does that mean? Pulling a big Lebowski is a slang phrase that generally means to act in a manner similar to the main character, the dude, from the 1998 Coen Brothers film. Okay, and what does that mean? Okay, being lazy or unmotivated, being extremely relaxed or going with the flow, wearing a disheveled or casual outfit. Okay, being an accidental hero or becoming unintentionally entangled in a complex situation. Now we know what that means. Pulling a big Lebowski on me and saying I don't have to be wrong to be an asshole. That's true, but I think her friend is the asshole, not me. I'll tell you what happened and you decide for us. Okay, let's get into it. My wife's friend was at our house for dinner. Alright, she's a teacher and she complains about it a lot. She says the parents are impossible to deal with, the administration is not supportive, everyone has an opinion on curriculum and the kids don't listen. Typical. That's school life for you. I include these complaints as context for the discussion. Alright, she told my wife she was working on her lesson plan for February and Black History Month and that she was making a fact sheet about Martin Luther King Jr. for her kids. Our son, who is a huge Star Trek fan, said that she should include the fact that MLKJ was a Star Trek fan. My friend's wife, with a very patronizing tone and expression, I might add, said that maybe he would have been if he'd still been alive when it aired. Wow. Okay. My son said that he was, and that he used to watch it with his daughters. My wife's friend said that he died before the show aired. I told her she was wrong and my son was right. She said I was a perfect example of a parent that can't acknowledge when their child was wrong. Wow. I said, no, you're a perfect example of a teacher that assumes she knows everything and can't connect with her students because she doesn't respect them. My wife forced us all to change the topic. After dessert, I pulled up a video on YouTube where Nichelle Nichols was discussing talking to MLK Jr. about Star Trek. I showed it to everyone. My wife's friend asked why I couldn't let the topic lie. Of course you're gonna ask that, because you don't want to be wrong. Oh my gosh, I hate people like this. I do. Oh my God. I said I didn't want my son to feel like he was wrong for sharing facts he knows about his interests. My wife's friend said I don't know what it's like to be a teacher. I said I don't, but I know she's a bad one. Exactly. She said I'd never seen her in the classroom. I said I didn't need to because I see how she is in her daily life. And people are who they are regardless of where they are. Okay, so my wife's argument is I'm an asshole for bringing the topic back up after it was settled. That's hilarious. She said I could have played the video for our son after her friend left and taught him about giving others grace and not needing external validation. Oh my gosh, come on, wife, no. Like, I get it, but no, she was wrong. Like, I would have proved her wrong too. I disagree. And I think it is important our kid knows we will always stand up for him. So am I the asshole? All right, you guys, comment down below. Before I even get into this, comment down below, what do you believe? Because no. Oh, no. I think this is really crazy how we're really arguing with a child right now. One, and then two, we're wrong arguing with a child right now. And then three, the dad has to come in and tell you that you're wrong. And you're just like, nope. He wasn't alive. He was dead. Nope. No facts. Not gonna pull your phone out to even, try to prove your point to say that you're correct or anything. No, he wasn't alive. Sir, I do get what your wife was saying, because you could have done that. You could have waited until the friend left and then, like, you know, talk to your son and let him know, like, no, you were right, honey, blah 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 blah, you know, all the other stuff. But no, we don't do that around here. We're petty. we're gonna stand up for ourselves at 2026, and we're gonna let it be known when a person is wrong, because I'm tired of people out here gaslighting people and trying to tell them what it is, and you're straight up wrong, and you don't even want to prove your side of your point. You just want people to believe you. 2026, we're getting back into humbling people and letting people know what it is. This is not a "it is what it is" kind of moment. No, we're humbling people. Go sit down, because you're wrong. Neat Nefarious One, she says, you would think the teacher would appreciate learning something so relevant and timely, but she's a terrible teacher who desperately wants to be right without earning it. Exactly. What's worse is that she's the type who will pass along misinformation with no regard for the truth. She's in the wrong line of work. For real. Like, she shouldn't be a teacher. I agree completely about that. It's just like, if you don't like your job, let's switch jobs. Let's work on being better and bettering ourselves and actually applying the things that we like to do. Let 2026, we change it. CAT Beans says, what an interesting statement. Can you show me where you found it? It's not hard to be kind and not invalidating. Exactly. I wouldn't let her negative energy around my children unless she changes her ways. Why would you want to hang with this negative Nancy? Exactly. That honestly, I want to ask that to the mom as well too, because instead of actually defending your child and like agreeing with your husband, why are you defending the teacher instead of your child and husband who's trying to let this lady know that she's wrong? Like, I understand you wanted to just everyone to stop arguing and everything like that, but for you to go and tell your husband that he was in the wrong for even bringing it back up when you didn't even tell your friend that she was wrong about the information that she was telling your child, like, I don't get it. Why would you even want her as a friend? It's not like a very big or deep situation, but yeah, like, I wouldn't even want you around my child, because now you're over here spreading lies. You're telling my child that he's wrong when he's actually correct. You don't do that. Regardless of being a teacher, people who cannot admit they're wrong are assholes. Facts, bro. Oh my God, straight facts. Especially if your ego is so pathetic, you need to prove to a literal child you're always right, just because you're an old fart. Like, thank you, brown sugar bear, because I can't stand people like this. Like, and it doesn't matter who they're going against, if it's a child, grandma, sister, brother, auntie, mama, cousin. Like, I can't stand liars, and people who cannot admit when they're wrong. Like, people who do not take accountability for nothing. Like, the combination of the two, when you have a person that's both, even worse. Oh my God. Let's pinky promise. We're gonna pinky promise, you guys, we're gonna stay away from people like this 2026 and from here on out into the future. All right, y'all, comment down below what you liked about today's video. Let me know what you thought about these inserts. Also, comment down below your solution to what you think these people should do, if they're the assholes or, you know, whatever. If you are new here, what's up? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please. That way you'll know anytime I post, and you'll be able to keep up with what we got going on around here. All right, with that being said, coconuts in Barbados, I'll see you guys later. Bye.